it slow. Wait for them to ask you who you know. Please don't make any sudden moves. You don't know the half of the abuse. Take it slow. Wait for them to ask you who you know. Please don't make any sudden moves. You don't know the half of the abuse. All my friends are heathens, take it slow. Wait for them to ask you who you know. Please don't make any sudden moves. You don't know the half of the abuse. All my friends are heathens, take it slow. Wait for them to ask you who you know. Please don't make any sudden moves. You don't know the half of the abuse. All my friends are heathens, take it slow. Wait for them to ask you who you know. Please don't make any sudden moves. You don't know the half of the abuse. All my friends are heathens. who you know. Please don't make any sudden moves. You don't know the half of the abuse. All my friends are heathens, take it slow. Wait for them to ask you who you know. Please don't make any sudden moves. You don't know the half of the abuse. All my friends are heathens.
Move on the map, never see what you gonna do when you out, who you with, you ain't really like that, don't you, don't you? Really on the move on the map, never slip, keep your hands to your left, don't you, don't you?
Hello and welcome to this beautiful race hosted by the International Sim Racing League. Today we are on the Nurburgring GP track for, I think, 3 heat races, which are sure to be very interesting. Now, at the moment, 12 people on the server. And I think there's a lot of interesting racing ahead of us. So yeah, it is now the second season of the International Sim Racing League's Formula 4 series. And I will be commenting and we will be broadcasting round 1 for you with currently 12 people. And yeah, our teams for round 1 will be Orica GP Racing, Pierrock Racing D2D, Simulation Gemini Motorsports, JC Racing, with who we are, Smoothie, and our Season 1 champions were the driver Horilov, who won the championship with a lead of 16 points on P2. And the second best was Matt Contreras, and P3 last season was Wild. Now I will take a look at the first track action as qualifying has started. We are now on board with Pierrogi. We're going towards the 180-degree long right-hander and seems to have a little lock-up. And he's being chased by who I presume to be Horilov. Now going through the Schumachers. And we already see some racing. Horilov on the right and going through. Now Pierrogi will maybe have some slipstream for his first qualifying lap. Down towards the full right-hander into the chicane, and then they will soon start the first qualifying attempts on board now with Daniel Tokachi, who is currently going through the last right-hander and onto the start-finish line, but he will stop before he can start his qualifying attempt. Or at least he's not going full throttle. Now Maud also exiting the pit lane. He also wants to get a qualifying attempt in. Only 3 minutes left for everyone to do their qualifying. And currently no times on the board. Everyone trying to do the lap as fast as possible to get the best result possible to maybe start from pole position. Oh, that was a bit wide there onto the grass, I presume. Yeah, we see him rejoining the track there, and that will surely make that attempt not viable for pole position. But another driver we're looking at now, David Vintilescu. Now looking at Riley. Moving towards the long right-hander. Now looking at Pierogi. Who has done the first 2 sectors now with a time of 1 minute and 33 seconds, but someone much quicker than him. Leon here on screen right now with 50 seconds currently on his lap time. Maud spinning out, very unfortunate there. That will cost him a lot of time, which he desperately needs, as qualifying is only on for 1.5 more minutes. These Formula 4 cars, of course, not as powerful as the other Formula cars, but still not to be underestimated. Still a lot of power for the little weight that they have. Drift Core now also on his lap. And Pierogi also trying to get the best lap possible. He has spent 30 seconds this far in this lap, and that didn't seem like a very good line there, so that might not be the best time, as we see someone spin out. What happened there? Maybe a crash, maybe a spin. We were unfortunately not able to see. That might be a case for the stewards, but what is not a case for the stewards is this spin right here by Drift Core. Very unfortunate, of course, for him, as this lap time will now probably not be what he expected. Someone going around the outside, and another spin for Drift Core. Very unfortunate, but he will keep it going to at least have some time on the board. Now on board with Leon. Who is going towards the long right-hander, current best lap, a 2:04.3. And underway on soft tires. And currently on screen just big OS. Now through the start-finish line. into the last corner there, Pierogi, to finish the qualifying. Not a very good exit at the end there, but he's still going to finish. Strong a little drift at the end, but that won't matter much. He will be crossing the line with no time currently. Now, fastest time, Hori Love with a 1:59.1 and Leon right behind him with a time of 2 minutes. And 2/10 of a second. Right behind him, David Winterlestu with a time of 2:01.6. Now we're looking at Pierogi, who has tried going out for another lap. David Winterlestu now in the pits. And we are currently looking at Pierogi through the Schumacher is. And also going towards the last corner there. Now, Pierogi also on his way to finish his lap through the last chicane. And Leon right behind him, maybe trying to improve his time to get in front of Hori Love. And now Tokachi Daniel in the pits. And Pierogi also finished with his quali attempt, I presume. But will be staying out. And now qualifying has ended. And we are excited for the two 20-minute races that are about to happen. 2 heat races. Now, the first one will be with the normal, with the results from the qualifying just now. But the second race will be with reverse grid. So on whatever position you finish, you will be put in the reverse position in the second race. So now only 30 seconds left until the first race. Now we're excited to see some fine racing action. And it shouldn't take long for that to happen. Only 10 seconds left. Now, this should be the first race of the season. So everything on the table for the drivers. And now we're on the grid. And it won't take long. And there are already the lights. Let's And it's lights out for the first 20-minute heat race. Everyone buzzing past. Now Fagex currently in the lead. Horilov fallen back to second position. And we see someone spin out there. So already some chaos in the opening lap. Leon now trying to make up more positions. Currently on P3, now on board with Freddy in P6. Right behind Daniel Alberti. Now Leon doing his best to catch up with Horilov to get it onto P2 to get some more points in the championship. Now, first time through the long right-hander. Fagex currently in the lead. Right after him, Horilov. And we're looking at the back of the field, Drivko. Now, also going towards the long right-hander. And there seems to have been a crash involving Daniel Tokachi. But both cars are underway again. The Schumacher Essen Fagex has already built a rather large lead on the two cars behind, it seems. Although that could be some sort of bug with the overlay. Now Azukov on his way to the last chicane of the track. But being closely followed by Riley K. And Riley K is through a successful overtaking maneuver, but now Azukov will go to the inside again. And will he get the overtake done? No, he will have to stay behind. And now Riley K currently in the lead of the free pack that we see at the end there. But now has fallen back to 11th, but is now back up to 10th. Currently in the front. Horilov has gotten the first position, followed by Leon and Fagex. Nowhere to be seen at the moment. Now, Freddy nearly avoiding that accident there. And now we are looking at Fagex, who, according to the timing box, should be first. And now looking at Freddy, who is having a great fight with just Bigos. Following closely towards the chicane. See if there's any opportunity on the rise. Oh, and Leon, some sort of issue. Maybe he's been killed. Maybe a spin. We can't tell at the moment. Maybe the stewards will give someone a penalty for that issue. But now Matt Contreras on towards the last corner. He's pretty much in no man's land if you ignore Daniel Tokachi right behind him. Now Freddy got hit in the back by Just Big OS, I presume. Well, that's rather unfortunate, but the gentleman seems to be... No, he doesn't seem to be waiting for him. Now Freddy will have to do his best to catch up again. as they go down towards the chicane, and afterwards a long right-hander where we'll maybe see some dives up to the inside. Oh, someone has gone wide there. We didn't exactly know who, but Azukav now trying to follow the other guys, but he has gone wide and he will spin around off the track. And someone will go through. I don't exactly know who that is. Oh, and there will be a touch between Matt Contreras and Riley K. And Riley K will be in the wall. That is very unfortunate. And now you're looking at Leon RBG. Currently in 4th. So he has caught up a bit. And we already have our first retirement of the race. Leon RBG now towards the first corner. As well as just figures. Now we're looking at the last lap times, and we can see Love far ahead of the competition. Only one who could challenge him will be Daniel Alberti, whose fastest time was 1 second slower. And there we have a co-commentator joining us now. But currently Leon RBG in 3rd. And there seem to have been some issues with one of the cars. Someone spinning around, though we've already seen a lot of that. Now Mord chasing down Daniel Tokachi, I believe.
Yeah. The slipstream is powerful in these cars, even though they are quite weak.
Yeah, I think the low power especially, and the combination between the low power.
Ooh.
Oh, what a rejoin!
Ooh.
What a rejoin!
Yeah, I think he just locked the rears there and wanted to come back on track as soon as possible. But surely there'll be a penalty for that after the race.
For sure. But yeah, as we were talking about, I think the combination of the low weight and the low power of these cars makes an exceptional combination that allows for a lot of slipstream to be utilized with these cars.
Ooh, but Polish locked up through that corner, got a worse exit, and through comes Daniel, round the outside. Oh, looks like they made contact. And Polish into the sand.
And now we're watching another battle drift core. Now having some sort of issue, and he will be going into the pits. There are no pit stops required, so maybe he is repairing some damage. Maybe he underfueled for the race. But currently, Horilove still in the lead. Followed by Daniel Alberti. And who is that? That will be Freddy on the side of the road.
But look at this. Leon's within a second, and the gap seems to be dropping. Wonder whether in the next 10 minutes he'll be able to make a move up. I mean, he can play it safe. He still gets a podium and he still has 2.5 seconds to the car behind, but I'm sure all the drivers here do want to win.
Another aspect would be the reverse grid in the second race. If he does decide to make a move, he will be further down the order in the second race, so that would also be an aspect for him to consider, but I think He's just in the pure racing spirit. He will be doing his best to overtake the car ahead of him.
For sure. One thing to be mindful of, though, is if he continues to stay in the dirty air, those tires will degrade much quicker than Daniel Alberti's. So, if he doesn't get a move done soon, then all hopes would be lost. But of course, that means he can start up the order in the next race. It's all mind games.
A lot of tactic at play here in this race. And there are 2 more of these to go. I know Matt Contreras following just because a gap of 0.4 seconds between them. Will we see a move into the first corner? No.
No.
But now on board with Leon as he's chasing down Daniel.
Ooh. Looks like these cars are very... Oh! There's a car facing the wrong way there. And that probably compromised just because his exit, and Matt Contreras goes through.
A wonderful overtake.
I guess that's the thing with racing. You can get unlucky and just have to be in the right place at the right time. But you see a switch of positions right again.
Now going towards the long right-hander. Matt Contreras. Both going wide there.
It seems the biggest thing with these cars is just trying not to lock the fronts, because they just seem so easy to lock at the moment.
Yeah, I think the brakes are a lot stronger than the grip that these front tires have.
And, ooh, 3 drivers through the chicane.
There's some very close racing we're watching here. Although that might be one of the back markers joining in to the fight.
Yeah.
Now that is David Vintilescu.
With the slipstream. I mean, Danielle and Leon fighting has allowed David to drop that gap by 5 tenths, and it's only going to drop more. So, if they keep on pushing each other like this, David might have a shot at the podium by the end of it.
That is very true. Now we're looking at the lap times. Holy Love, currently still the fastest driver out there on track. And I think that is also the story the gap to Danielle tells. But now we've seen a lot of drivers close in with their pace, with many drivers already doing 2.0 lap times. Especially Daniel and Leon on P2 and 3 respectively.
Oh, and there's contact between David and Leon, I believe.
Oh, that is very close racing we're seeing here. Although the stewards might not agree as much.
Yeah.
With me.
And
But David,
oh,
no.
he goes deep, but so does Leon. And let's see, side by side out. Although,
Now you can see on the right there, most already have a giant gap to the leader Holy Love. So I think it's safe to say that in these next 6 minutes we will not see any change in the leader of this race. Unless, of course, there is a large mistake made.
But that does put up the question, in the next race, will Hori be able to cut through the field quickly? Because he does have the pace, but getting through that much traffic on race start would be a problem.
That would be a problem indeed. Now, Leon moving on Danielle, I believe. Trying to get past, as these 2 drivers have been battling for almost the entire race, trying to go up the inside. But there's no room left for him there. searching for every gap there is, but he can't seem to find one.
But they'll need to find it soon because that timer is dropping. There'll be about 3 laps left for him to get past.
Now, down towards the long right-hander, there's also a third car joining into the battle. Now, the question, of course, is if that one car...
What a
it's very-
save from Danielle.
What a save, but that will make him drop down some positions and Leon will be through. Leon will move on to P2 and secure himself some more points for the championship.
But they're not letting it up, going side by side through there, onto the grass. Just shows how much they're pushing the cars for each other, and this gives Hori the chance to sort of run away from them. But this is some amazing racing we're seeing. But who's going to be braver on the brakes into the chicane? It is Danielle straight through. But Leon is close, and that slipstream down the straight is going to be insane. So let's see whether into turn 1 there'll be anything bold.
Now, Driftcore a bit further down the field, but still trying his best
Oh,
to still trying his best to put some decent laps in.
yes, just to the left. You could see Leon actually trying to think about going for the move, but he backed out. Always got to balance the risk and the reward. Like, is it worth sending a dive bomb from miles away if you know you're going to get a penalty for it?
Now through goes the car in front, but there will be a massive dive bomb by Pierogi. But that won't last long as the switchback.
But is this against the lapped car we're seeing this battle?
I believe so. As nobody seems to be on Pierogi's lap. It must be him fighting with a car that has lapped him or a lapped car.
Yes. Because he's just trying to have some fun racing before the end. But, oh, this is mighty. Hori and Danielle takes the lead. Wow.
What a surprising development in this race.
And it looks like Hori might also lose the lead to Leon.
Now
Oh,
there is a
first and third.
three-way battle for the lead.
It's interesting. There was contact between Leon and Danielle there, but it's up to the stewards to see who's at fault there. But they're not backing down from each other here, as we look like we'll be going on to the final lap here, potentially. All moves are on the table. Let's see, is Leon going to send it into turn 1? Round the outside? He's looking for it.
Of course, a lot of other battles going on now. Driftcore going round. Just there.
Oh my gosh, there's a massive pile-up. Daniel, Leon, and Hori all crashed into each other.
But it seems like they were all able to retain their respective position.
Yeah.
They're not letting the stewards rest today.
Definitely not. But that incident has given Daniel kind of an advantage, because now they have the chance to pull away, whilst Leon has to defend his position against Hori.
Yeah. And now Leon back into third. And there seems to have been another contact. Azukov trying to get the car to turn around to finish this lap.
That front wing must be busted, but so must these guys been with the amount of contact we've seen between them. Their cars must have taken a beating.
For sure, and someone goes around. That will be Azu Carve. Another spin to add to the list of all the spins we've had already. Now back to the leading group. Some very intense racing here. Hori Love now back into second.
And let's see who's gonna cross the line first. It looks like Daniel Alberti.
A wonderful
The race.
That seems to be the race winner. As the guys further up the road are already slowing down to enjoy their wins.
But yes, Daniel Alberti takes the lead, and what a comeback that was. Like, we thought Hori had it secured, but it looks like even with 10 minutes and quite a gap, you still have to be wary of what you're doing, because it can just be snatched out like that on the final lap.
Yeah. Now, if we look at the last lap, we see during the battle with Horilov, Leon seems to have lost a lot of time. And so he probably had no chance to fight back against Horilov.
Indeed.
And now it's best to remember the positions that we are seeing right now, as in a second we'll have a race with reverse grid. Another 20 minutes.
And having those top three start together from the back is going to be interesting, because we saw they don't hold back when racing each other. So how are they going to do when they have to get through several cars whilst all trying to fight for the lead?
And it will of course be very interesting, and it will also be very interesting how they will handle all the traffic. I think the stewards will have a lot of work after this race.
Oh yes, for sure. I mean, that race was definitely chaotic, but I'm sure the next one will be even more.
Yes. Now,
Well, once again, congratulations. RP 9, 10, and 11. 1, 2, 3, 4 red lights. And away we go.
away we go. Jeffco can keep his first position for the start, it seems. No one's challenging him on that. Now this will be a very chaotic corner. Driftcore already spinning another car. This is chaotic.
Oh my gosh, that's the entire grid. Literally every car was involved in some sort of collision in turn 1, and it was red flagged.
This is some racing where you're happy that you're commentating and not stewarding.
Oh, for sure. I mean, that looked unavoidable, but back to the grid. I guess that's the problem that a lot of them forget. They have cold tires, so they can't brake as late, they can't brake as hard, and they have to take the car a bit easier into turn 1.
Yeah, but I think another effect is another problem are the different braking points that the faster drivers have compared to the slower drivers. And it will be lights out again at the Nurburgring GP track. And drift core now getting a similar launch to before. Will he be able to make the corner? This time onto the grass, but he seems to be going straight. And we are seeing a lot of tire smoke, a lot of contact.
Yes, on the apex there were 2 cars going very slowly through there, so... But they managed to survive.
I do believe we are seeing some more cars.
Ooh,
Oh,
and that just shows the reactions you need to drive a Formula car, I mean.
that was some great avoidance driving from the driver's back there.
Yes.
It is still very chaotic racing, but we are seeing a lot more cars on track than we saw after the first start of this race.
And already, those top 3 from before have made their way up, apart from Danielle, who is still down in P7, but Hori's back in P1, and Leon's right behind. Only 8 temps separate them at the moment. And you got David in P3, only a 10th behind Leon. So it seems the fast guys have definitely made their presence known and cut that way through to the front before even lap 1's over.
Oh, who are those guys that are that just crashed? That would be interesting to know. But I don't think we can figure that out right now. Though our big 3 are still alive. Hurry Love, Leon, and David Winterletru. And all within a 2-second window.
Yes. And that's Daniel Alberti having a collision with the wall according to live timings. This just seems this race is not going for him. As Maud and Riley spin together in tandem. Oh my.
A really chaotic race, this one.
Yeah.
Also spinning on the start-finish straight. But now underway again. And we can see in that little window on the left there, Leon now driving as fast as he can to avoid David, who is right behind and surely wants to take that position for himself. But we are not seeing any move done here.
Just checking, is the commentator car in the pits right now?
It should be.
There seem to be quite a lot of collisions.
Yeah, this really is some very chaotic racing. And now into the last corner. This group of 4 cars all battling for the lead. Now onto the start finish straight. And that was a rather unfortunate spin by Maud, but at the top, 4 guys fighting for P1. Leon has taken the lead from Hori Love, and David has as well. But Leon has now spun in will and was thrown back into P4 or even 5. Now to the inside. Mood goes, there was a little touch there. But they're moving towards the chicane, and now someone going right. That must be David Mitilescu, who went a bit deep into that long right-hander and will now be on P4. So he has lost quite a bit of time.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, your 4 contenders, I'd say 4 P1 at the moment, are Hori, Matt, Leon, and David. Everyone else seems a bit too far away to stand a chance at the moment. But Hori does have that gap, but I feel like Matt is slowly but surely closing in on him.
And now only about 14 minutes left of racing here. So not a lot of time. So we might see some more aggressive moves being made in the next couple of minutes. As the drivers get more desperate for position, get more desperate for championship points. And this race will not have any effect on the next race.
And oh, that's Driftcore, Mode, and Matt all having a collision with each other there.
Oh, Matt, one of the contenders for P1, that will be very unfortunate for him.
Indeed, but it seems he has recovered pretty quickly. But yeah, so if I was him, I would not be happy about that and would be definitely taking it to the stewards after the race.
Yeah.
And all this has played out in Hori's favor, as he now holds a 3-second gap over Leon, who's down in P2.
That is very impressive to see.
But like last race, things can change with the flick of a switch. I mean, we saw Hori lose the lead and drop down to P3 on the final lap, so never say it's over until it is.
But he has been showing great pace in the last race and in this one as well. So I think if he can just keep that car on the road, he will be taking home the first place for this race. But the 4-way battle continues.
Yeah.
Now Matt Contreras, of course, with the issues we just saw, back to P4 now. And we're
Yes,
about to get to the cars in front, and that will be Holy Love, who has spun himself out in the first corner. Now Leon will be taking the lead, followed by David and Holy Love, with Matt being a bit further behind.
yes. I mean, Matt has been getting seriously unlucky. Yeah, it seems everyone else has been getting unlucky because he's only 4 seconds to Leon. So that comeback drive is still possible at the moment. I fear, though, everyone is too damaged to be pumping out the lap times that are sub 2 minutes like last time. I believe this is going to be a battle of endurance to see whose car survives better to the end.
And now it is, of course, very interesting to see that Leon seems to be driving away from the rest of the group, which could mean that he has a little bit less damage on the car. Freddy spinning on the start and the end of the start-finish straight. I think that's another lockup. Oh, and another one. These guys really seem to be struggling with the missing ABS.
Yes. It does make for some close racing even without it, though. I mean, the amount of times I've seen these cars go side by side already is impressive, but equally so, the amount of crashes I've seen. Those closing speeds, you have to be brave under the brakes to be able to get pace out of this car. And one mistake and, well, we've seen it happen.
Yeah. So will Leon have his lead challenge only 0.3 seconds, with now 0.4 between him and David. So David definitely closing in. But will it be enough to take that position? He will be going to the inside, but Leon will not be faced by that and keep his first position for now. David now kind of looking to the inside there, but he won't be able to get alongside. And then he spins with Matt or Horilov, I don't know exactly, driving into him. Very unfortunate.
Yes, a collision with David and Horilov, according to the live timings.
But that is rather that is not what you want to see in this race. As there's been such close racing until now.
Indeed.
So now the group has split up a bit. Matt Contreras and Horilov now the only ones fighting at the moment, with Leon having built together of almost 2 seconds and David being behind by 4.5 seconds.
Yeah.
Side by side through that corner. Oh, and that is some very interesting defensive driving by Freddy. He seemed to have just been blocking the driver behind Azukov, presumably. Now, that could be a case for the stewards again. Oh, and into the back there. That could have ended a lot worse. But both cars still standing. That's ready off.
Into the wall.
And he's now underway again, but that is not how he imagined his race would go. Now back to Matt Contreras, who is chasing down Horilov. And there's now a 1 second gap between the two cars, which also means that Horilov is closing in on Leon. And he can almost smell that slipstream, can almost smell that gained top speed that he will get if he just closes in about 0.6 seconds more, which is very doable, but the time is working against him. Only 6.5 minutes left of this race. And if Leon can just keep the car on the track, this might mean that he can take home first position in the second race of this season.
Yes, that will be interesting to see. Just an update, our P2 finisher from the last race, Daniel Alberti, has actually retired from this race after that race start. I believe the luck just played against him too much to bother continuing.
That is very sad to hear. You never want to have someone end their race early. There could have still been some points on the table. But I also understand the frustration. Now onto the start-finish straight. Matt Contreras was chasing down Horilov. Where has Leon gone? Leon, the previous leader, now in P3 with a 4 second gap to Matt Contreras in front. Now what happened there? Yeah, track looking very busy at the moment. Now only 5 minutes left. Horilov will not have to do much work to keep his first position. And he is currently the fastest out on track. And that will be something that speaks towards him taking home first position after the second race.
But that is interesting to see. Compared to his best lap from the last race, he is 2 seconds down. So that lap 1 beating really is showing here, and it is going to be interesting to see which cars have how much damage alongside tyre wear.
Yeah. Now these guys fighting for every centimeter they can gain on each other. And we are looking at a fight here.
Oh, that is a bold move round the outside.
Almost touched the grass there, but he got it done. And he got through.
And if you want to be winning, if you want to make your way up the grid, you do have to be making those moves. So fair play to him for that.
And now Horilov with the fastest lap of the race. 2 minutes and 2 minutes 0.3 seconds.
Oh, oh, oh! And that's Matt Contreras being hit by Azukov, who lost the car under braking. That is unlucky for Matt Contreras. There was nothing he could do at that point.
That could have cost him the lead. But it also cost him P2, where now Leon resides at the moment.
Yes, I mean, Matt's currently trying to keep P3, but it seems David is close behind, so all that pace just has to come through now more than it ever has.
Now only 2.5 minutes left, so we'll probably only be seeing one more lap after this one. Now, and Contreras towards the Schumacher S. Very difficult, but quite manageable in these high downforce cars. Luckily for the participants.
But it does depend on what kind of setup these guys are running, because I'm sure some people may have opted for a lower downforce package.
Especially for these long straights that we are seeing on the screen right now. And Leon being challenged by multiple cars, including Matt Contreras, who has now gone through and has taken second place, which he will now need to hold for another lap. But there's David Vintulecku, who is contesting that second position. The side by side, David currently has his nose in the front, but Matt has the inside line. And now Leon also joining in. And Leon will be the one that takes P2 after this battle, with David being the one that loses the most.
Yes, it seems Leon was holding his line there, even though the track curves, and Matt tried to go around the outside, bounced off him, bounced off David, and unfortunately David got the worst end of that stick. But it does seem they are still close together despite such an incident.
Now only 30 seconds remain, so this will be the final lap for these drivers.
And I just have to say, congratulations to Horiliv. I mean, he has been pushing well, he's kept it consistent, and he's eked that gap out to quite a commendable one. Having been the luckiest out of them all, but also the fastest, having set a 2 minutes 1.
All my friends are heathens, take
A
it
2 minute 0.1 second lap time, which is over a second quicker than any other lap. So, just goes to show Give him some clean air, and he'll pull away.
But it's not quite as decisive for P2 at the moment, as Leon is still followed by Matt Contreras, who is chasing him down. Of course, there's another battle going on here. Pierogi against Daniel Tokachi.
Yes, indeed. That's Thagax, first one to cross the line. He is not the race winner, but let's see. I believe Leon has crossed the line now. And he retains P2. Your top 3 race finishers, Horiliv with the win, followed by Leon, followed by Matt Contreras in P3.
David Wintelescu on P4 and Freddy on P5. So very interesting results there. We will see how the next qualifying session goes.
Yes, but congratulations to Hori for that drive. But once again, as we have seen many a times today already, it can be anyone's race at any point in time. So
that is very true. Now, Mood, probably the last one, is going to finish his race. Quite a bit away from the big pack. But slowly but surely he will close on the finish line. Pierogi, little spin there. And that will be it for this race. Now everyone's disconnecting. Now everyone leaving the server. And that will have been the 2 races.
and what a race it's been. Well, who would you say has been your driver of the day?
I think definitely Hori Love. Not as great of a performance in the first race,
Yeah,
but in the second race his pace has shined through.
for sure. Me personally, I'd say Leon. I mean, even though he didn't finish first in either of the races, his determination, comeback and battling has been a joy to watch for me. But I must hand it to Hori. His driving, his pace and just his consistency shows he deserves that win.
Of course. Now we will take a quick break and we'll be right back for the third race.
Is it uncommercial now?
Should be.
Weird.
I have the stream open.
Right.
Give me a sec. Yeah, so yeah, it's on break. It's on
Yeah.
break.
Take it slow. Wait for them to ask you who you know. Please don't make any sudden moves. You don't know the half of the abuse.
Smooth on the map, never sleep. What you gonna do when you out? Who you with? You ain't really like that. Don't you? Really on the move on the map, never slip. Keep your hands to your lips. Don't you?
races. So they went through, like you can see, turn 8 on the graphic you sent in. I'm pretty sure they went through the corner in the last race.
Yeah, I'm
No.
pretty sure as well.
Yeah. They've just shortened the track.
Yeah. Oh, and we're back.
See, turn 8.
Oops. Yes, we are back, and just as qualifying's ended, unfortunately, I had a few technical problems there, but currently your top runners are Hori with a 1:28. He has taken pole by over a second so far, and that seems to be the same story between P2 and P3. 1.7 seconds separates them as well, so it has not been a close qualifying by any means, but it has been a chaotic one. There are still 4 drivers yet to set a valid lap time. Azuka, Mode, Takanki, and yeah.
Now there are very huge gaps in the pace of these drivers. No one has set times where with the same amount of seconds.
Yeah, that is true.
So everyone at least a second of gap to the next driver.
But that just goes to show in the race, I guess race pace does matter a lot more than quali pace. But Hori breaking the barrier, going down to a 27.7. So now he has pole by 1.3 seconds. Leon, unable to improve. Riley, unable to improve as well. That is your top 3 set at the moment. And David cut down that gap by 8 tenths to get into P3. He cannot, because he's in the pits.
Now we're very excited for the next race that's about to happen in probably a minute or something like that, as the last drivers are finishing their qualifying. And then we'll have 30 more minutes of racing action.
Yeah, that's Riley doing donuts just for qualifying. I mean, we're right to be excited. But let's see if he can keep that position in the race.
That P3 is a very good finish for him, as he was a lot further down in the last few races. But let's see what he can do against Leon and Horilov, who have already established themselves as really fast drivers in this league.
Indeed. You know, it would be interesting to see if any of them could adapt my personal motto, which I use when driving. It's worked out well so far. P1 or DNF.
That is a very good motto to have. Now, I've done some iRacing races this week, and I can tell you I follow that motto to... I follow that motto. So now only 12 seconds remain. And it will be lights out.
And away we go. Into turn 1, several collisions, Mode, Polish, Tokaki with Azukov. It seems Azukov is the one who got worse off there, still lagging behind, with Mo behind as well. Nurburgring and Thug X also having a collision, but that's a minor touch, and we have Hori pulling away in P1 still, followed by Leon and David. But Polish and Tokaki are getting quite feisty back there, colliding again. Seems this is some hard wheel-to-wheel racing that we have.
Now, Hori Life still at the front, followed by Leon and David Vintilescu. And then in fifth, it will be the Riley K.
Commentator car? Back to the pits, potentially?
Now through turn one, they go with Hori Life still in the lead. Now Leon and David in second and third, fighting for P2, fighting for those extra little points in this championship. They're very close at the moment, with a gap of only 0.4 seconds. They'll go into the right-hander.
And as you can see, this is a shorter layout than we witnessed before, but seems the heat has gotten to the track. They're currently running at 43 degrees Celsius on the road. I can't imagine what that would be doing to the tires. I mean, you do want heat in them, but not that much heat, you know? We might experience some graining, especially at a 30-minute race, so some stops may have to come earlier than expected.
Now the fight for the lead still very much on, but the gaps have widened a bit. But there's still a fight going on between Freddy and Riley K, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh no, it would be Fugex and Freddy.
Ooh, and that's Freddy going side by side into turn one. Let's see who will be last on the brakes. Freddy has that inside line, and he keeps the position.
Oh, and Freddy has spun, but he can save it. Going over the grass. He has lost some time.
And that's a penalty for cutting.
That's very unfortunate for him.
But at least the car is still driving.
That is a very big plus indeed.
Hori with the purple sector 1 at the moment. Going into sector 2, let's see what he gets.
Someone cutting, I think that must be Hori Live, who didn't get that corner quite right. And had to resort to cutting.
Unfortunately.
He will hope to not get a penalty like Freddy got before. And that will be David Vintilescu with the current best time, I believe.
Oh, and that's Tokaki hitting Carbonatrix on the final corner.
That's very unfortunate. Both cars very high speed. Oh, this is no joke of a crash.
Indeed. Hori, that cut, losing him some time. He was 7 times slower than Leon on that lap. But it's interesting to see Hori's best lap alongside David's is actually faster than anyone in P3 and below's qualifying time. So that pace is coming out in the race for some reason. Interesting. Especially on David's side.
It could be that the drivers had to get used to the new layout for a second there. And that's why we're only seeing this pace now.
Indeed.
But there are already huge gaps between the drivers. No one is within 1 second of the next car. Oh, no real fighting going on. Leon on the live stream right now, doing his best to catch up to Hori live, like he has done 2 times before. But not having any, but not making any real progress at the moment, it seems. He will be staying far behind. David Vintilescu also not looking like he is making much progress here. So the race will drag on for a bit. There's no real battles going on at the moment. And here we see Freddy, one of the unlucky receiver of a 5-second penalty for cutting the track.
And there's a collision between them.
Luckily, it didn't seem that heavy. Sorry for interrupting you.
No problem. Yeah, seems just to be like a little love tap. But this is the closest battle on track at the moment. The best lap between them is a 2-second difference, with Freddy seemingly being the faster one. But let's see if these mistakes may have anything to say about it.
Now David closing in on Leon, so we might see a battle there develop there. We'll also see if Leon can turn the wheel around and make some progress towards Hori Love, and close that gap as it is extending. Right now it is now almost 3 seconds. So not looking good for Leon at the moment.
Not at all.
As the pressure starts building from behind with David right on his tail.
Hori, purple sector 1 again. Let's see if he can redeem himself and smash that lap time out the park. Coming around the final corner. Let's see what it is. A 28-0 from Hori. He is on fire at the moment. Just cutting through, and that gap has now extended to 4 seconds. Leon dropped down behind David.
Oh, and Freddy going off there.
Ooh.
Just touched the grass, and it sends him around. That will damage his car a little bit further. Very unfortunate.
Yes, Freddy's currently driving with an orange front wing. It's the question, with how aerodynamic these cars are, will there be a point where it's worth pitting to fix that damage, rather than staying out due to the lap time you're losing?
I do believe so, as this car don't rely on physical grip at all. So if your aerodynamics aren't working, your entire car basically isn't working. So I think we might be seeing some pit stops here, especially since the race is so long and there's so much that can happen.
Indeed.
Now, Horilove currently 1 second a lap faster than David, who has gotten past Leon. So David now in P2, Leon in P3.
Just looking at the live timings now, this grid is very split up, unlike the sprints we've seen before where there was constant battling. I wonder, has the track change really harmed the drivers that much?
I do think it is also because most of or many of the drivers have disconnected. For example, Matt who was fighting for a podium spot in the last race isn't to be found anywhere. So the grid has gotten a bit smaller, and so the gaps have naturally grown a bit bigger, it seems.
Indeed.
But I hope he'll be getting some more racing action very, very soon.
I mean, Tokachi is gradually dropping the gap to Freddy at the moment, so it'll be interesting to see if he ends up catching up.
Now only 17 minutes remaining and the gaps are growing. 5 seconds between David and Horilov, and also 5 seconds between Leon and David. So the race isn't close in any capacity. But who knows, maybe someone will make a mistake.
Mm.
And that could lead to some more racing action today.
But it is a joy to see. When we had racing, it was great. And it just shows small cars, even on tracks like this, really do go the extra distance. Nurburgring, fun track, the GP circuit, it often gets overshadowed by the Nordschleife, but I'd say this is my favorite part of the layout.
I think you will be rather alone with this opinion, but I do understand where you come from.
Yeah. In my defense, I only drive Formula 1 cars normally, so you can imagine the Nordschleife isn't exactly the best track for me.
I can imagine that. I do. There is a reason they aren't driving there anymore.
Honestly. I mean, a few months ago, I did a Nordschleife run as a stunt, and I kept on getting anti-stall throughout the track, so... But, oh, we have a battle with Hori. Oh, that's the race leader colliding with Polish, who is a lapped car. Hori not gonna be happy about that one.
Now David's closing in. Maybe that was all he needed to close that gap.
Hori, now with a damaged car. Let's see, can he pump out the lap times? Even though he lost time, that gap is still about 4 seconds to David. But it just goes to show the car control that people have here. Ooh. Thankfully, Takachi did a safe rejoin there. But it just goes to show the car control people have here is less than you would expect. I mean, these cars, they seem pointy, the smallest mistake snaps and you're in the wall, so being able to drive consistently for half an hour is definitely a skill.
Yeah. But that might allow for some close racing, as David has gotten past Hori Live, and Leon is also closing in on Horilov, and is now only 3.8 seconds away from the other driver, going down the inside of that lap traffic, which he is very, very fortunate for him that he was able to get past so easily. And now towards the right-hander that cuts off the rest of the GP track, he will go a bit wide. And now on towards the long straight. This is a place where the damages in the aerodynamics might be the harshest, or where they affect the drivers the most.
And just a quick note about the cutting we have been seeing through the chicane. There is actually an invisible barrier on the escape road there due to the Kunos modding. So if a driver makes a mistake there, it will cost them egregious amounts of time, as they have to take the original chicane route there.
That is very, very bad.
Yeah.
But
for reference, I found that out the hard way.
that's not what you want to hear. but currently, fastest lap by Hori Love, about 1 second quicker than the fastest lap by David. So there's a 4-second gap which might close really, really quickly, but the time also working against Hori Live, as there are only 12.5 minutes left. So about 1.5 minutes per lap. That would be around 8 laps left.
And what we're seeing now, Hori must be feeling like Hamilton in Monaco back in like 2014 with the blue flags, because Freddie has been battling Hori even though he's lapped. Seems they're working against him at this moment. I don't really know what the steward rules are, but I can imagine that a blue flagged car battling is not acceptable here.
Yeah, we will see if this has any effect on Hori's chances on closing that gap to David. Now it is opening, it is getting bigger. We went from about 4 seconds to now 5.6 seconds, so 1.5 seconds lost. This is not a good situation for Hori Love.
Not at all. I mean, based off their last laps, David with a 29.6, Hori a 32.6. And there's only 11 minutes left. Even though anything can happen, Hori would want to start getting those lap times down. But maybe there's more damage at play than we can imagine. Leon, all the way down though. Unfortunately, it seems his chances of winning are gone, and he would have to focus on getting ahead of Riley, as Leon is 18 seconds away from Hori, who is now 6.8 seconds away from David, with a 5-second penalty for cutting. But that is an interesting note. You only get 3 cut warnings, and on the 4th you get a penalty. So by the end of the race, maybe the penalties will play in each other's favour here. We could see some promotions at the end.
It could be a huge aspect in this race. Now, there is a prize pool for this race, which the drivers will want to get, so it's even more pressure for them.
Yeah, the pressure with money on their line. Ooh. I can see why some people are going for that hard racing, that wheel to wheel, that may be going over the line in some cases. As Tokachi goes into the wall, it looks like he just lost the car on exit there. I mean, the lack of driver aids is visible here.
These drivers are really struggling here.
21 minutes of driving. Thankfully, the road surface has calmed down, now at a lovely 28 degrees Celsius. But the tyre wear must be high, the graining must be coming in, and now it may just be a case of who can survive on these worn tyres to the end.
Now it will be a battle with the car's degradation more than with the other drivers.
Indeed.
Now Holy Love closing that gap to David a bit at the moment. He's gained about 0.4 seconds, but that will not be enough to close that gap entirely, as there are only 8.5 minutes left, which means about 6 laps remaining. And if so, he would need to be 1 second faster per lap, and at the moment that does maybe seem possible. So maybe we'll have some more exciting racing in the end, as now the gap has gone down to 4 seconds. So the gap is decreasing rapidly. So
See the Leon and Freddy going against each other. Unfortunately for Leon, the gap for him has increased, but Hori is gaining, so...
oh, and that will
Ooh.
be Freddy into the wall. Just touched a little bit of grass there. Very terrible if you're a sim racer.
Yes.
Just went into the wall.
A 45 kilometer per hour impact for Freddy there. Orange front wing, orange rear wing, and an orange left side pod. I can imagine that car does not want to stay glued to the track at the moment.
And that would make it even more difficult to keep it on the track. Which means Freddy is just in a downwards spiral from this point on if he makes any more mistakes.
Indeed.
But if we look back to the front, the gap between David and Hori Love now closing even more. We at 2 seconds currently.
Yes, their last laps in comparison, Hori Love a 28.3, David a 30.4. So it seems
2 seconds gained. That is a crazy amount. And that could mean that he can actually close that gap in the 6 remaining minutes and take home P1 in the final heat race of this evening.
Yes. I mean, it is an incredible comeback drive for Hori Love if he manages to do that. And even now, it does seem that may be the case. Sector 1 already 1 second faster almost than David's. Sector 2, 5 tenths faster, and that gap has now dropped to 1.6 seconds with 5 minutes and 45 seconds on the clock.
Now, if you're looking at the last lap times again, Hori Love, again, 1.3 seconds faster than David, his competitor, so the gap is only 1.6 seconds, so we will most definitely see a battle for P1 in just a moment. Some incredible recovery driving from Hori Love displayed here. But somebody who will have to watch this back is Freddy, as the gap to Daniel Tokachi now only 8 seconds. But Freddy's gap to Nurburgring now also only 8 seconds. So there could be a battle developing a bit further down. But at the front now, David against Hori Love. The battle that has the battle that has been coming for quite a while now, and Hori Love into the back of David, and he will drive onto the side skirt of David. His car will lift up into the air and he will go into the wall there, I think. But now cars underway again. And both cars still fighting side by side through this right-hander, and David will have a bit of oversteer, which allows Hori Life to get past.
Yes, what a drive back for Hori, as we can see, into P1. Now we see he has the pace, all he has to do, pull away now. But he does have that penalty, and we don't know if David has a penalty. So as long as David stays within that 5 seconds, maybe he still has a shot at that win.
Only 3 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. So the question is, can David maybe counter in these final moments of the race and take back first position? But the gap between Freddy and Nish now closing rapidly. Yeah, only 1.3 seconds between them, so there may also be a battle going on back there, but we'll focus on this here right now. Both drivers are pushing to the absolute limit to
Beat the checkered flag first.
To change the gap in their favor. So now just about 2 laps remaining.
Hori sweeping around the outside of lapped traffic, I believe.
Very aggressive driving we are watching here, but it seems to pay out as the gap is growing, and David is now over 1 second behind Hori Love, which will put him out of the slipstream for the long straight